Herb, you've written several books on this topic. How do you see this all playing out? And I do want to also circle back and ask, with respect to President Trump's travel moratorium that's been shot down several times by progressive members of the judiciary, does this bolster the idea that we should have implemented that as soon as it was issued, rather than the sort of delay that we're dealing with now?
I think there was a communication problem, but there is no doubt it should have been implemented, in my judgment. The one and perhaps overarching consideration in thinking about this question, however, is that this is an ideational war. It's going to go on for a long time. What kind of ideology that we have that can counter the ideology of the extremists, of the jihadists? That is the key question. And it's a question that goes to the very essence of what it means to be an American, what it means to stand for our Constitution, what it means to stand for our freedoms. Americans have to understand we love freedom, but do we know how to defend it? That is really going to be the key question of the next 30 or 40 years.
But the ideology, are we selling it to would-be terrorists, or we're trying to sell it to Americans to understand how to protect it or why it's so precious?
I think it's the latter. I think it's Americans that come to an understanding that it's not relativism that is the answer, that it's an understanding and appreciation of what we have in the United States that sets us apart from other nations, that makes it very different for the United States to engage in this kind of warfare, because we are going to try and protect civil liberties at the same time we're going to try and protect the American people through a security apparatus. It's a very, very difficult security matter.
Herb, I absolutely fully agree with you.
You know, Herb, in the first round, she actually not only won dissatisfied working class, but she won the young vote, which is distinctly different than our election. I thought the best line that I read was where Le Pen said to Macron, "Don't play games with me. We do not have a teacher-student relationship here." Of course, referring to like the 30-year gap between he married his teacher, his high school teacher, and they're like 30 years apart. And that gets to the point that he's naive, young, maybe out of his depth.
Well, one of the things that's happened in this election, you've had an earthquake in French politics. The traditional parties on the left and the right are gone. The National Front is now emerging as a major political force. The problem, however, is Le Pen has to overcome the legacy of the past. That is, the words that have been uttered by her father. Everywhere, I was in France last week, and everywhere I went, you know, you have the portraits of the 11 candidates. Everywhere I went, there was the word fascist over Le Pen.
Right.
And it's very hard to overcome.
She's actually stepped down temporarily as the head of the party.
That's right. Yeah. That is right. But again, trying to overcome that becomes the great difficulty in this campaign.
And of course, Macron brought that up more than once during the debate today. Guys, thank you both very much.